Hello and welcome to Preventing Slips, Trips, and Falls. During this course, you should be able to identify common hazards that might lead to slips, trips, and falls, monitor your workplace for slip, trip, and fall hazards, and take preventative measures to avoid injuries from slips, trips, and falls. Our company's most common cause of work injuries is slips and or falls on ice, snow, or wet grass. Very important with wet grass. Should we have the ability to post a sign, we should. Otherwise, we need to communicate that the grass is wet and slippery to our teammates and for people to be careful. So what is a slip? Well, a slip occurs when there is little friction or traction between a surface and your shoes. This can happen when surfaces are wet, icy, or highly polished, or on carpets, rugs, or mats. A trip occurs when you are thrown off balance. This usually is because of something that unexpectedly blocks your path, like clutter, furniture, cables, or power cords. This can also happen when there is a change in floor surfaces. Falls occur when you lose your balance and come to rest either on the same level or lower level, like down a flight of stairs. This type of incident can cause many types of injury, including bone fractures, sprains, traumatic brain injury, and there are deaths that occur from falls as well. Other causes of injuries that occur frequently at our group of companies: inattention. Number two is tripping on the same level, not paying attention. A lot of them have been related to cell phone use. Number three cause, a slip or a fall on stairs. Number four is a slip or a fall on a liquid spill. Number five is a fall from a different level, and this has been for our company generally from the curb to the street. And then other causes of injuries that occur frequently at our group of companies: a fall after stepping into an opening or a hole or an uneven walking surface. So common hazards that create slips, trips, and falls, well, oddly enough, not identifying slip, trip, fall hazards like electrical cords, uneven surfaces, protruding nails, holes, loose boards, clutter, things that we should be looking for at the beginning and the end of each shift, and reporting if there are things that we can't fix or prevent. Another thing that causes it, being in a hurried state, especially when we're starting and leaving our shift. Again, we want to remind people, hey, just slow down, take a deep breath, get organized. Other things, if you're carrying too many items and you can't see over the top of it, you end up or have the higher likelihood of tripping over something that you can't see. So again, carry less items, take more trips to avoid tripping, and ask for help. Generally, it's not just one thing that increases the likelihood of a slip, trip, or fall. It can be multiple things at once. So if you're in a hurried state, if you're carrying things that you can't see over, it's highly likely that you're increasing your ability to trip, slip, or fall over something. So we've got to remember to take precautions and try not to set ourselves up for failure in that light. So why would we want to be vigilant about preventing slips, trips, and falls? Well, slips and falls are the second leading cause of occupational deaths in the U.S. after motor vehicle accidents, and many of those are related to falls on the same surface. Okay. Another reason why, of course, it can cause cuts, concussions, sprains, broken bones. And let's say you don't necessarily fall, but you slip or trip, you catch your balance, you still can strain muscles in your back that cause injury, okay? So we want to prevent all of those things. Because if we don't, you're now injured, you have limited movement, you might not be able to do your job duties, and you're going to miss some work. And what this does is it adds more work for your coworkers, right? And it causes overtime and whatnot. So you are missing time and not getting money, and other people are filling in time, and the overtime creates a loss for the company. So there's a lot of things, there's a lot of reasons why we want to be preventative with slips, trips, and falls that benefit everyone. The first prevention being, we want to have a safe environment. Floors in good condition, free of protruding nails, holes, or loose boards. Aisles and passageways clear. Cleaning and maintenance programs are sufficient to maintain safe walking surfaces. If you see a concern, be sure to report it. Okay. Weather. We know winter is coming, right? We're going to have our number one contributor in our company, right? Ice, snow, slippery, wet things, okay? We want to get out and prevent it by shoveling snow frequently in frequently walked areas, hopefully before the ice starts to settle. If the ice does have an opportunity to settle, we need to make sure we use some ice melt, okay? And always take smaller steps when you're on a slippery surface, shorter than the length of your foot, and walk with your toes outward to give yourself support, and take it slow. Inattention. So our advice, honestly, pay attention. What we mean by that is do not look at your phone while you're in movement. This would be while you're driving a car, okay? That's in our policy manual. No looking at a phone while you're driving the people we support. And also, if you're walking or running or doing any kind of movement at all, you shouldn't have your phone out looking down at it. Okay? Stairs. Stairs, as you can see in this picture, they need to be free from clutter. We want you to use handrails, okay? If you are in a situation where you have to carry items up or downstairs, first, make sure your path is clear. Second, make sure that you're not blocking your vision with whatever it is you're carrying. And, as always, go very slow. Water. Small water spills and splashes create slick spots that may be hard to see, so be careful and wipe up any spills immediately. Anytime floors are wet, the risk is high. We suggest when you mop floors, mop one side and leave one side dry so that people can move and have movement through the home. And then once that other side's dry, then mop the other side. Again, you want to use the same strategies on a wet surface that you would with ice, and that's, take small steps, shorter than the length of your foot, walk with your toes out, and whatnot. Uneven walking surfaces, okay? An uneven floor surface or change in floor material is a trip hazard. This is something you often find with carpets or on the threshold of a room. Go slow on uneven ground, wear footwear with adequate ankle supports, and remove leaf litter or anything that hides the ground surface. If you notice bulges in carpeting, loose floorboards, or raised flooring edges, report that to your supervisor so repairs can be made. Doorways, open and closed. Doorways are a common area for collisions and falls. Be aware as you are exiting a room into a hallway and approaching a blind corner or coming into an intersection, and communicate. Let people know if you're coming in or out or coming around a corner. Improper lighting. Lighting may be too dim or it may be too bright and cause a glare. Make sure you report any areas like this as well as any burned out light bulbs. Carry a flashlight. Again, most cell phones have a flashlight feature. This would be an example of when it is okay to use your cell phone because you're using it as a source of light. You're not paying attention to what's on the screen. Go slowly and feel for changes in ground level and report poorly lit areas and trip hazards to your supervisor so that the repairs can be made. The next one, clutter. Good housekeeping is essential to any safety program. In many jobs, keeping things clean and organized is an ongoing part of our day, as all direct support professionals are aware of and will be trained on. Cords. Place electrical cords and cables so that they do not lie in traveled areas. If they must lie in traveled areas, anchor them down with electrical tape and set them against walls when possible. Okay? Now, as much as we would like to prevent every type of slip, trip, or fall, we know that is not possible. So there is a safer way to fall should that need happen. The number one thing you need to do when it comes to falling is, number one, relax your body as much as possible. Be more likely to roll with the fall if you are relaxed and less likely to hurt your wrist, elbow, or knee. If you are carrying something, let it go. Toss it toss it and keep your hands clear when you begin to fall. The cost of any potential damage to anything you were carrying or the cleanup time is usually much less than an injury. Okay? And then breathe out and tuck your chin to avoid hitting your head on a hard surface. And if you have the opportunity to, get your hands up to protect your head as well for another layer. And then once you lose your footing and support, there's no place to go but down. But these steps might help you reduce the chance of severity to injury. So it's up to you to prevent slips, trips, and falls. Almost all slips, trips, and falls can be prevented. It is simply a matter of learning how to reorganize and recognize and report hazards and making the effort to avoid them. You can help prevent slips and falls. When you drop something, pick it up. If you spill something, clean it up. Pay attention to where you're going. And report all work-related injuries to your supervisor, even if you believe the injury is minor. State law and your facility policy require that injuries be reported. This concludes the training portion of this course, and the next part will, of course, be the following exam. Thank you for your participation.